Welcome to Lensing Hofstra. I'm your host, Mike Leslie. Today we'll be discussing the gentleman's sport here at Hofstra. Our first piece is about one of the first sports to ever hold that title, fencing.
Straight on. Harry?
Fencing is popular because a lot of students think that it's a way of getting them into college. It's a new upcoming sport. It takes physical ability, and the most creative, intellectual students are the kids who really enjoy the sport of fencing. Plus, it's the only sport where you get to hit your friend and get a point for it.
I took fencing once before, and I fenced a little bit when I was 16 years old or so, but I'm not a hugely athletic person. I can't do basketball, I can't do football, I can't run around, I can't catch for my life. So it's just really fun because it's actually intellectual, and it's about speed, and it's not necessarily, and it's about intelligence and not so much brawn and stuff.
It was a gentleman's sport because in the old days it used to take the place of fighting for the death, of dueling to the death. It was the gentleman's duel, the judicial duel, the duel of honor, duel over a woman, and it was always very proper because that was a way of settling disputes. Then with the invention of gunpowder, of course, fencing became a sport because people just enjoyed doing it. It was a fun thing to do, to try to outwit your opponent and out-strategize them.
My favorite part of the sport is probably the respect. You get a lot of respect from your opponent and from your coaches and from everything else like that.
There are many fencing clubs around Long Island. I know Hofstra did set up a fencing club a few years ago because they asked me to be the advisor and to give them information on equipment. I know we have it, I believe it's inactive, but there are many fencing clubs throughout Long Island.
Come down here and take it. I mean, if you jump in and you're gonna pick it all up, and you're going to learn the basics, and that's all you really need to know. I mean, it's just practice from that point forward. It's not like there's so many rules. You need to take years of it to know. So definitely take the course.
The gentleman's sports here at Hofstra can do a complete 180. From the elegance of fencing come the rough and tumble ways of rugby.
Rugby, as explained to me by a coach early in my career, was controlled violence. To the outside novice to the sport, it looks like a bunch of people running around, running into each other and tackling each other for no particular reason. But the reality of it is that it's a thinking man's game. The violence itself is a part of the game, but the bigger part of it is the intelligence and thinking about where you are. And when you hit a guy, you make sure that you're hitting him properly, and you're thinking about it, and you're thinking about what else is going on in the game. So it's a thinking man's violent sport.
I've definitely learned a lot from over the years since I began to play. The things that I think I've learned a lot more is about other cultures through rugby. A lot of other cultures, such as like people from other countries and stuff that come to Hofstra or that play rugby for other schools, and you get to meet and you learn a lot more about worldly issues and stuff, and the way America is viewed from other areas of the world. And to me, that was something that was very important when I started to play.
In England, originally and still today, is the sport of the elite. And football or soccer is the sport of the common man, and always has been. Rugby's been what they call the wine and cheese sport in England. And it's always been that way, that rugby was the sport of gentlemen. Maybe it's because you get rid of all your physical frustration on the field and you come off and have some wine and cheese and some brandy in a very sophisticated Masterpiece Theater kind of way.
I would definitely say, come out and watch us play. When someone tried to get me to start to play, they said, just come watch us, see if you like it. And I guess seeing a game and watching the way it was played and the way the players interacted with each other and the way the game ended and how both teams didn't just go their separate ways after the game was over, and they hung out and they talked, and they weren't so angry as they were when they were on the field. And to me, that was so interesting, And so I think you really got to go out and experience the game.
Well, that's all for today. I'm your host, Mike Leslie, and I hope you tune in next week for another edition of Lensing Hofstra. Everybody have a good day.